At least 11 attacks in the same Dallas neighborhood.
They were saying some, pretty nasty gay slurs.
Victims targeted at night.
Held me up against my door and just kept demanding for my car keys.
But despite calls to action and added security, the crimes continue.
I get knocked on the ground and they just start kicking me.
Now a new effort from a victim to help other victims of these Oak Lawn attacks.
And Michael Dominguez is one of the first victims in the attacks. I appreciate you joining us here tonight. That was your eye,
Yes.
the cut on your eye that we just saw. I guess before we get into this, I want to find out how you're doing.
You know, I'm doing well. I'm about 85% now. The human body is an amazing thing, and I'm healing very quickly, so I'm thankful for that.
So that's the physical part of this, but there's an emotional part of this as well. And so you've started this group. I want to make sure I get the name right. It's Survivors Offering Support, SOS.
Yes.
Let's talk about this and what your goal is.
So this group was kind of born out of necessity for immediate call to action for survivors of violent crimes. We find that the state and government agencies offer a lot of support, but there's paperwork and there's legalities, and it could take a while to get that. Our goal is to be sort of first responders for people, to kind of sit there, be emotional support, talk them through the fear, the anxiety, the anger that they might have, and then possibly offer them some group therapy, group sessions, as well as monetary help. Some of these people have been robbed, their rent money stolen, property stolen. We want to be able to help get them through that, so that's one less thing they have to worry about.
Robbed at gunpoint, which is
Absolutely.
so frightening. There was a case, one of the latest victims attacked this weekend. That person did not want to go to police. You found out what happened. You went to him and you said, listen, here's what you've got to do. What did you say to him to convince him?
You know, it was a concentrated effort. We have a large group of activists that are really focused on helping these victims and these survivors of these attacks. And we said the same thing to him as we say to every survivor. Regardless of the fear that is behind this, it has to be reported so that way our voices are heard, so that way our local law enforcement knows exactly what is going on with us.
Okay, so you said an interesting word. You said fear. The fear of the attackers, the fear of the police, the fear of... Where's the fear coming from?
Fear can manifest itself in many, many ways. You know, there is fear of the attackers possibly seeing your face again and coming to single you out. There's fear of local law enforcement not taking you seriously. There's fear of possibly, being on the news and being reported and not being out to coworkers or to family, and now all of a sudden your face is splattered across the TV for whatever reason. So fear could have a lot of different factors for these survivors, and the important thing to know is that you are not alone, which is why our group was started. Very few people will understand what we go through. So being able to offer that one-on-one support to fellow survivors and know exactly and look in the eye and say, I've been there, I'm still going through this, that could mean the world to somebody.
Do you think police are doing everything that they can do right now? I mean, you're having marches. The story has been here on Fox 4 News quite a bit. These attacks are still happening.
You know, local law enforcement has been fantastic. They have approached the situation with open minds, open hearts. There has been some fantastic conversation that is going on. We still have a long way to go. There has been very open lines of communication, but arrests have not been made. And it's a matter of a lot of factors. Local businesses, local law enforcement, the citizens, people on the ground. We all have to work together. There is no us against them mentality. It's us against the people that are doing this. It's going to take all of us.
So let's talk about the people on the ground, because I think you've got to get word out to people who go out in this area, in the Oak Lawn area of Dallas, or who live in that area, because I think people have been so comfortable for so long. You go out, you walk home, and people are being attacked not only when they're alone, but even when they're in small groups. What do those folks need to do to take care of each other and take care of themselves?
You know, anytime that you offer some suggestions on what you can do to protect yourself, it's always a double-edged sword, because you say things like walk in well-lit areas, make sure it's not too late, and make sure you're with friends.
Right.
But for the survivors of these attacks, these are things that we go over in our minds every free minute.
What could I have done differently? And then the guilt sets in.
Absolutely,
Right.
and you have to be careful, because that could be also a fear. Will people blame me for what happened to
That's
me?
true.
So we all as a community have to be very vigilant, obviously, for self-preservation, but more so, watch each other, protect each other. Keep your eyes and your ears open, because at the end of the day, we are a community. We have to be there for each other. Our community is built on the history and the backs of people who were tired of living in fear, and there's no reason for us to go back to that.
Michael Dominguez, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad that you're doing better.
Thank
Your
you.
cut is looking fantastic. I think the emotional help that
Thank you.
that you're giving to others is just great. So again, I want to let folks know SOS Survivors offering support. Also, we have a link on our Facebook page to your fundraising site and to your
Absolutely.
Facebook page and to the website that you're also setting up. So
Thank
you can
you.
go there to find out more information about what Michael and SOS are doing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again.